chilling here. We got a good home opener weekend. I'm happy about it.
It's March. It can be
Sweet. You muted it.
She's like, stop talking about the weather now.
All right. Hi, everybody, and thank you for attending our match day -1 press conference. We will start with defender Izzy Rodriguez. For those joining us on Zoom, please use the raise your hand feature and we'll call on you, or you can type your questions into the chat. We will start with the people who are here in person first. So Thad, take it away.
I'll just start off with how excited are you to get the season going?
Oh my gosh, so excited. 8 weeks is a long preseason, so I think we're all itching to play some other people and get in front of our fans again at the stadium. So I think you're going to have a lot of energy from us on Saturday.
Every year a team can be different. It doesn't matter how many changes are made, but there's been a few changes in this team. What do you expect this team to look like this year?
I think we're going to come with that same mentality and that grit that we come with every game day, every year. We want to go out there and we want to put on a show, but we want to do it in the Kansas City way. But now we have some new fun pieces that we get to integrate and build that chemistry on this year. So you're going to have some fun personalities on the field, I think.
Is it fun for you to have those different people so you can learn their different things?
Oh, for sure. I think we've had a lot of fun the last couple of weeks just learning each other and even just on the field, Croy and her sellies. It's really fun to be around somebody. I know Lo probably appreciates having another person to do those with. So I think it's been fun. The rookies have been great and have been learning a lot, but they're really fun players to watch too. So I'm really excited.
And then, what do you expect from your opponent?
Utah was building a lot last year, I think, at the end, too. So I think this is going to be a really good game. And, we've been working all week and all preseason for this game. So they definitely have us coming for them, but I'm really excited.
Any other questions? Okay, we will turn it over to Zoom. We have a question in the chat from Daniel Sperry. Does the team feel pressure to match what they did in the regular season last year?
I think that last year is we want to build on that. We want to get better, but it's a whole new year, and we have to take it as that every time. We have pressure on ourselves always, but I think this year is just going to be focusing on one game at a time like it was last year and start the season new, and it's going to be new people, new faces, new opponents every year. So it's going to be one game at a time. I don't think we want to look too much at last year and just start building on this year.
And for you, what type of growth are you looking for this year personally?
Personally, I think last year was a really exciting year, and I want to keep going up from there. This team makes it really easy to develop, and I'm playing against the best people every day. So personally, I think it makes it easy to get better every day and to continue that role, but also on the leadership front. Weird saying now this is my 5th year, so I feel like I'm becoming a bit more of a vet, so trying to use my voice a little bit more this year.
And what are your thoughts on Armis as a head coach, and how does he reach the team?
Yeah, Chris has been great about bringing the energy every day. I'm sure you guys have heard that a lot. He is an energizer bunny. He is the fuel to our fires, he likes to say. So I think he's just bringing in a fresh perspective and fresh energy to something we had last year and just building on top of that. So I think you're going to see that on the field. He likes to bring it on game day, and I think you can see that in all of us, the way we press and the intensity we bring. That's his big thing, is bringing the intensity. So it's been really exciting to have that.
And we have a question from Tom. Last year, you were a key link in both defense and attack. How much of your role from last year will change this year?
I don't know too much about change, but I think it'll also just be working with new players and fitting into a system game in and game out. I still like to be involved in both, and I hope that continues. But I think it's just going to be honing in on the details every year, making the runs forward, getting back, keeping ourselves really stingy on defense. But overall, I think it's just going to be building on last year rather than changing too much.
And Tom, you still had your hand up. Did you have a follow-up question? Okay. Izzy, last one, obviously home opener on Saturday as well. What is your message to KC current fans?
Oh gosh, just do what you always do. Show up for us, bring the energy, be loud. We haven't been in the stadium with a loud crowd in a lot of weeks, so please show up, cheer loud for us, and hopefully we can bring some entertainment to your Saturdays.
Cool. All right, thank you everyone. Thank you, Izzy.
Of course,
we'll be back
thank you.
Shortly.
Yes. All right,
The
Danielle.
woman behind the scene.
Yes. Listen,
All right, we are
we
back
need
with
to
head coach
hold
Chris
it up.
Armas. Same thing as before for those on Zoom. Please use the raise your hand feature or put your question in the chat. We will start with that.
Put in a lot of training days to get to this point. Game tomorrow. What's the vibe?
The vibe is what you'd expect it. You know, I've been part of a lot of opening days and home openers as a player and a coach, and as much as we love preseason and training, there's just nothing like game day. And honestly, from what I'm seeing and understanding, there's nothing like home matches, game day in Kansas City with the Kansas City Current. So I know that the feeling amongst our fans, as I've met a lot of them lately, and every single person in these walls, and of course the players, I just can't wait to throw it all out there to tomorrow afternoon.
You said you've been through a lot of opening days. Do you feel like this one might be a little bit different just because having switched over to the women's league, the women's game?
No. This is we're all athletes. We all have the emotion, the passion, the love for the game. So no, I know that at every single level, from when I was a kid to a collegiate athlete to a professional to a national team player, like game day is always the best, and it doesn't get you can't get more excited for this stuff. So no, I don't expect it to be any different, the emotion.
And the team added a player this week in trade, Penelope Hawking. Can you just talk about what she'll bring to the team?
We like the addition. You know, our team likes this addition. Our club added Penelope for her experience, for her attacking prowess. She's really smart in the final third. She's a player that looks to run behind back lines. She can operate underneath. She's very versatile on the front line. So if she's a wide player, it's more like an interior striker. She can play up top, and she can also play underneath. So, no, she's experienced. And the thing I like most about her when I saw her play is that she has an edge. She's really competitive and has a winning edge in competition.
We have a question from Daniel Sperry. How do you feel like Ali Setnorn's success with the U.S. Women's National Team in the last two international windows can translate to the current?
Well, Ali Sentnor is such a talented young player still. And when you go to the national team and you get put on that stage and you have that privilege, every time you come back to your club team, you seem to come back better, bigger. Maybe a couple of games gives you even more experience than what it almost seems. So I'd say that when Ali comes back into our team, we see that she's more confident than ever and just a little bit something extra. So listen, we want her to just focus on what she's doing here and all the things that make her good. She's energetic. She's a winner. She can score goals with the right foot, left foot, and that's what we'll do. We'll just to throw everything at it tomorrow afternoon.
We have a question from Tom Persley. You talked earlier in the week about the energy of the team and the fans being an exchange. How do you guard against nervous energy about the first match spilling over?
Well, in this business, we know that there's nerves. We all have nerves. And how do you deal with that? You know, those butterflies that only few jobs can induce. And this is one of them that give you that feeling of excitement. And I think we talk about that stuff because it's a good thing. Those butterflies, the nerves, we talk about being a little nervous versus being scared, and never the one that's scared and hiding on the pitch. But the nerves are real. And again, I almost remind them that there'll be a stage of your life when you're looking in the mirror, brushing your teeth at night. And no matter how much you try, you can't get those butterflies in that moment. You just can't. And that this is a very privileged situation. So to embrace the nerves, to embrace the spotlight, and that's how we will go after it tomorrow.
I wanted to follow up on Daniel's question about Ali. I know she can play kind of different roles and stuff. With the national team, she's played a lot of striker and some other spots. Do you see her more as a nine or as a midfielder, or what do you see her as?
I see her as a dynamic attacker. She can play the 9 position, because she's got a real nose for the goal. However, so does Davinia. And we're going to use them in similar roles where they're both high up the pitch, they're both central, and that Ali is someone who can also operate underneath. We call that seam two, those spaces in front of their back line. So we like that she's such a clever striker inside the box, and she can finish with both feet. So we want her thinking like a 9, and in certain moments of the game, just dip underneath to try to bring our attack into it.
With her and Davinia and Croy and a bunch of the others, you have a wealth of offensive talent. How do you get enough of them on the field at the same time that they're happy?
Yeah, it's been interesting because, listen, they'll be happy. Internal competition is what's going to make us really good. And, we've had the start to this year, Coop coming back into the team, we've had to figure out some life without Temois for a bit, and that has it's allowed us to try some different things and different combinations up there. We have real intelligence, real fluidity, and real versatility. So they'll be happy. There's so many games to play. There's so many minutes to go around, and we want to be healthy when it matters most, which is the end of the year. And that'll help us do that, these rotations and combinations.
We'll turn it back to the Zoom. Theo, if you want to go ahead and unmute your mic and ask your question.
Hey, Chris. Theo Lloyd-Hughes from The Athletic. Can you hear me okay?
I can, Theo. Yes, thank you.
Good to see you again. I question, you mentioned it a little bit there. Temois, what is the latest on her return to play?
Yeah, thanks, Theo. Thanks for being with us here. With Temois, we have to be really intelligent of how we bring her back and the right doses into training. And what I can tell you and everyone is that she's getting closer. She's not available yet, but she's getting closer, which means we're seeing her out in the training pitch these days. But it's such a demanding season for these athletes, especially the demands that she puts into games. So as she's getting close, we still are managing it the right way.
I know she was put on the SEI before the season. You and I already talked a little bit about that. When do you think she would be activated or come back to playing, or is it kind of hard to give any timeline?
It is hard because it's a complicated, injury she had. So listen, I'd love to be able to know myself even, but I think the best way to do it, and which is the most honest, is short term. Is it the next month where we see some action? Who knows? But that's me trying to give you that it's getting closer.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it. And enjoy your first game.
Thank you, Theo. Thank you.
Thanks, Theo. And we will end with a question from PJ Green in the chat. He's heard coaches in the past speak about the importance of their concept being more important than running specific formations. Is that the approach fans should expect this season with a continuation with the high-flying offense?
I think the most important thing for our fans to expect is that we're going to be a real team that plays together, that has a plan, that has a way of playing, which organization is the key to our attack and defense. But more importantly, that every single time we step on the pitch, it's about intensity and energy, and just, you don't have to wonder how much it means to our players when you watch them play. That's what they should expect, that's what they deserve, and that's what we've been doing here for a long time here in Kansas City, and I'm going to be fuel on that fire.
Thank
Sure.
you, Coach. Good luck tomorrow, and thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.